So viewers, joining me now is a very special guest, Mr. David Mencer. He happens to be the spokesperson of the Office of Prime Minister of Israel. David, thank you so much. Good to have you again on our show.
Good to be with you.
David, I would put it this way that what happened yesterday, perhaps IDF announced the elimination of Yahya Sinwar. How do you look at it? Because we are looking at it as the third Bin Laden movement for Israel in 3 months. In 3 months, Israel had managed to eliminate the top 3 terrorists. How do you look at it?
Well, I tell you, when the news came through, I heard a big kerfuffle just across the street from where I was. And when I inquired to see what that kerfuffle was about, it was a family that were breathing a huge sigh of relief and in some sense celebrating because they had lost their own son in the Israeli army battling against Hamas in Gaza. So this is a very emotional time for all Israelis. The Israeli forces, we've successfully eliminated Yahya Sinwar, as you say. He was the mastermind behind October the 7th. He was the leader of Hamas, and it marks a major victory in the fight against terrorism, not only for our safety here as well, but against terrorism around the world. Terrorists around the world, take note, the forces of good and democracy will not abide with your killing. You will face justice, and we've shown that here.
Okay. David, I also want to ask you that I personally feel this way, that it will increase pressure on Israel more now, because there are a lot of Western countries talking about peace in the Middle East. So since the top 3 wanted terrorists of Israel have been successfully eliminated by Israel, their network, the Hamas network, the Hezbollah network has been finished by IDF and the other Israeli forces. So I am expecting the pressure to come from the Western countries and they may tell Israel to stop the war, to perhaps come for the peace talks. How do you look at it?
Look, I'll tell you how I look at it. This mission is not over. Okay. Yes, of course, it's a significant achievement, but the mission is ongoing. And that's why the Prime Minister said last night that our highest priority, nothing higher, is getting out our 101 hostages still being held by Hamas. 36 of them, unfortunately, have been killed by Hamas. Some of them were killed on October the 7th, and their bodies were taken by UN staff, United Nations staff, into Gaza. But the mission will not be over until we bring all of our hostages home and dismantle Hamas's rule in Gaza. But we have brought that closer. And I will say to you as well that we will get to peace in this region, but it will be peace through victory. Okay. First victory, a defeated enemy, that will lead to peace. If we get peace before victory, with any of Hamas's leadership still standing, with our hostages still in the terror dungeons, 13 of them women, 2 of them children. I can't get those 2 red-headed boys out of my mind. They remind me of my own kids. Then the mission will not be completed. It will be victory, bringing back our hostages, defeating Hamas, then there will be peace.
When you say defeating Hamas, then already the 2 of the top commanders have been eliminated. When you say defeating Hezbollah, then the top commander, Hassan Nasrallah, has been eliminated. One who was about to succeed him has also been eliminated. Then already the senior leadership is finished. Then who is Israel fighting with? And coming back to your answer only, that there are more than 100 hostages still in Hamas's captivity. Where are they, David? Because the senior leadership has been eliminated. Who is perhaps keeping them in captivity? Where are they? And why it's taking so much time for Israel to find out their location?
Look, the Prime Minister last night made it very, very clear. The people of Gaza are urged to see this as an opportunity to break free from Hamas's tyranny. They're not completely defeated yet. Okay. And this, the Prime Minister said last night, I've never heard him say, he said it with his own mouth. He said that if Hamas terrorists lay down their arms and release the hostages unhurt any further, then they will be able to escape with their lives. Now, I've never heard the Prime Minister say that before. That is a clear offer to Hamas terrorists. Set our people free, let them go, do the right thing for the first time in your miserable lives, and you will escape with your lives. If not, then we will go after the Hamas leadership and their people one by one, methodically, slowly, going for the terrorists, getting civilians out of harm's way. It's our mission to defend our people. That's precisely what we will do.
But do you think that elimination of Yahya Sinwar will put pressure on Hamas to release the hostage?
Absolutely. I think that Hamas's terrorists must be thinking to themselves, their leader is gone. He called himself a lion of the Palestinian cause.
Yeah.
He brought nothing but death and destruction to the Palestinian people. And I think they must be thinking to themselves, if they want to keep their own lives, let our people go and they'll be able to escape with their lives. And that will provide a better future, not just for Gazans, but also for everyone in this region.
Okay. Also, David would like to know from you that there was an attack which was launched from Iranian soil. Perhaps Iran launched an attack on Israel. And when we spoke last time, you and in fact your other colleagues at the government confirmed to us that the response is going to be imminent. Response will take place. Response will happen from Israeli side. Can we still expect? Do you still stick to what you said last time around, or Israel has changed the strategy and there's not going to be any response to what Iran did to Israel?
Well, if you'll forgive me, I don't recall anyone in Israel saying that, that our response would be imminent. Yeah. Let me put it this way. I don't like the word response. I preferred the word defense. We were attacked by the largest ballistic missile attack of any country upon anyone in the history of mankind. 181 ballistic missiles. Iran, that wishes to be a nuclear power and is striving to become a nuclear power, says very openly that they wish to destroy this country. We simply will not allow that to happen. Now, Israel knows precisely Iran's capabilities, and we know precisely how to defend ourselves. I guess that, Sid, you'll have to just wait a little bit longer, because we will defend ourselves. The Iranian regime can no longer be allowed to dictate the policy in this region. We need to ensure that this regime is sidelined, and we've made this urgent call to the Iranian people, 70 or 80% that we believe are not supporting the regime, to rid themselves of this regime for a brighter future for all of the people in this region. That will be success for Israel, but it will be your success in India as well, because these forces of terror that encourage disruption and terrorism and barbarism around the world, if we see them down here, they will be deterred near India as well.
Okay. David, a very last question, and it concerns to my government and my people here in India. There are 900 Indian soldiers serving as peacekeepers in Lebanon, UNIFIL. And in fact, we have been seeing the posts from the UNIFIL. Some of its posts have been targeted by IDF. IDF has its own position. IDF has to say that Hezbollah terrorists take cover and have built tunnels next to UNIFIL posts. So, those incidents are taking place near the post. Can the government of Israel assure the government of India about the safety of Indian troops serving in UNIFIL? Because there has also been a letter which has been prepared by Poland, and in fact, there are many countries signatory to that letter. Even India has also signed that letter in a later stage. So would like to know, since we are talking today, David, can the government of Israel, assure the people of India? And also, are the two governments in touch as far as the safety of 900 Indian soldiers in Lebanon are concerned?
The Prime Minister has made clear that our battle is, of course, not with UNIFIL, as it is not with the people of Lebanon. The Prime Minister has made an urgent call for UNIFIL, the peacekeepers, to move back 5 kilometers. I'll tell you why he made that call. is because Hezbollah are using the UNIFIL forces as a human shield. They're firing from next to their positions. And it comes down to this very basic point. United Nations Resolution 1701 said that a UNIFIL force should be there to stop Iran's proxy occupying that space between our northern border and the Litani River. That was the UNIFIL's role. Unfortunately, in that role, UNIFIL have failed miserably. Of course, we are coordinating with UNIFIL forces to make sure that none of them are harmed. Where there has been harm, we apologize, and we're certainly looking into that. But it is not our intention to harm UNIFIL forces. We want our people to be able to go home. It's as simple as that. That was UNIFIL's job, to maintain peace on our northern border, to keep Hezbollah away from our border.
Is your government in touch with the Indian government also, as far as 900 soldiers serving in UNIFIL is concerned, their location and perhaps their safety?
I'm sure that Israel's government is in touch with our great ally in India and the Prime Minister in India. The expression in Israel says that you don't remember the nasty things said by your enemies, you remember the silence of your friends. We don't feel that Indians have been silent, nor has the Prime Minister. So we consider India as an ally, which means that our two governments are as close as they have ever been.
Okay. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Welcome. Good to be with you.
Always.